Hi, my name is Tianle Liu, and I'm here to do the problem 2 for homework 2 for the probability course. And you can see the screen shared on my screen. Yeah. So let's view the problem first. Now we have the probability of the x1 equals to 0 and probability of the x1 equals to 1. And the following group of the probability that to test like probability of x2 and probability of x3 and further on. And for this problem, we have to solve 4 small problems, and let's view it one by one. First one, we need to solve the probability x2 equals 1. So for this problem, we need to realize that the probability of x2 equals 1 is combined with the probability of the x1 equals to 0 and x1 equals to 1. What does it mean? Maybe I can list the formula for you. For the probability of x2 equals 1, we need to calculate by probability of x2 equals 1, x1 equals to 0, multiplied by x1 equal to 0, plus probability of x2 equals 1, conditionally by x1 equals to 1, multiplied by probability of x1 equals to 1. Okay, I think we all know the probability, conditional probability of the formula is like this. Right? So if we move it to here, we get this one, which means we are actually calculating the x2 equals 1, xy equals 1, plus x2 equals 1, xy equals 1. Oh, sorry. First line is there. Okay, now we can continue our calculating. That is, we can see problem x2, 1, 0, 0.4 multiplied by x1 equals to 1 to 0, which is 0.2, plus 1, 1 is 0.7, multiplied by 0.8. Okay, so for now, we're gonna get which is equals to 0.62. And because for the next question, we need to calculate the x3. Based on the class, we have introduced a much easier way to do this problem, which is we list the xk here, which is based on the x1 is 0.2, 0.8, and list the relationship with the conditional probability of xk plus 1 and xk. Then see 0, 1, 0, 1. So this is xk plus 1, xk. So we can just fill in by our conditions. So 0, 0 is the 0.6. 1, 0 is the 0.4. 0, 1 is 0.3. And 1, 1 is 0.7. Okay, do this matrix multiplication. We will use the calculator of the TI Inspire. So let me fill it in. So what we get is the 0.63, 0.64. Okay, the last question I calculated wrong. Yeah. So for now we get the xk plus 1, right? For now, this xk is x1, so which means the xk plus 1 equals to x2. So we have the probability of x2 equals to 0 and probability of x2 equals to 1 as 0.63 and 0.64. So that's it for the x2. But now we have to find the probability of x3 equals 1. So now we bring it back to this matrix multiplication. 0.63, 36, and 0.364, and multiply by the same matrix, right? Because the relationship of the xk plus 1 and xk didn't change. So it's xk plus, oh, sorry, 0.6, 0.4, 0.3, 0.7, which is equals to, let me check it, 0.48 and 0.592. Okay, so we come out for the using x2, we get the x3, which is the x3, which is the x. So we have the probability of x3 equals to 0 and the probability of x3 equals to 1, which is 0.48 and 0.592. Okay, so we have the probability of x3 equals to 1 equals to 0.592. Here's the answer. Yep. So for the next problem, we need to calculate the conditional probability of xy equals to 0 given by x3 equals to 1. Xy equals to 0, x3 equals to 1. So what's the point of this problem? We can check the conditional probability xy equals to 0, x3 equals to 1. Which is we need to find the xy equals to 0, x3 equals to 1, and x3 equals to 1, right? We already get this one, but we need to find this one. The upper. What is this upper can transfer to? I think we can do the conditional probability again. What does this means? Did we get this one can be this one? Right? So for this one, it also equals to probability of x3 equals 1, probability of the x1 equals to 0. So this for this one, it's the conditional probability multiplied by the x1 equals to 0 of this one. So we can use the property of the conditional probability to do that. Okay, so now we get this one, but we have to find the probability of x3 equals to 1 given by the x1 equals to 0, then we can do view the process of the part B, that actually to get the x1 through x3, we just need to input the x1, use the matrix, and use the matrix again, right? So to get the probability like we get here, we need to uh, find the matrix of this one. In this case, we can just multiply this matrix and we can get the conditional probability list like this for the x1, x3, or you can say xk plus 2 and xk. So I will do the calculation using my calculator. Okay, so this one will be a matrix of 0.48, 0.52, 0.39, 0.61. Okay, that's it. So now we have the input of the x1 and we have the output of the x3. So this is the conditional probability list of just like the x plus 1 and xk, but it is actually the xk plus 2 and xk. So we can least find the probability we want, which is we need to find the xk plus 2, which is x3 equals to 1 and x1 equals to 0 is probability of x1 x3 equals to 1, x1 equals to 0 is 0.52. Okay, bring it back and we can have the formula here, which is equals to probability of x3 equals to 1 is the 0.592, and the probability of the x3, x1, x3 equals to 1 is 0.52 multiplied by xy equals to 0. Xy equals to 0 is 0.2. Okay, let's do the calculation, and it will be rounded up by 0.176. Okay, so that's the answer of the probability of x1 equals to 0 given by the x3 equals to 1. Now we are facing to the last problem, the limitation. When n goes to the infinity, what's the probability of xn equals to 0? So for this problem, I will use the clues from the homework, which is this formula. Right? So we just need to find the a here, because we need to find the xn equals to 0, xn equals to 1. We need to list the formula for the a. A is which is 6.6 0.68 plus 0.3 multiplied by 1 minus a equals to a, right? So this is the Plus A plus 0.6 minus 3A equals to A, which is 0.3A equal plus 0.6 3, which is equals to A. So this will be 0.7A equals to 0.3, which is A equals to 3/7. Checking by another formula, we can have the 0.4A plus 0.7 1 minus A equals to 1 minus A. So we have 0.4A plus 0.7 minus 0.7A. So which is 0.7 minus 0.3A equals to 1 minus A. Switch it up. We have the 0.7A equals to 0.3, which is A still be the 3/7. So we can get the limitation of the n goes to the infinity. The probability of x n equals to 0 will be A, which is 3/7. So that is all for this problem for all 4 parts and the process.